What's going on, dudes? Nick here, or RJ Gaming, and welcome back to a brand new video. I know this video is probably going to do bad. I know a lot of you guys are not into World of Warcraft. It's an old game, but that is actually exactly why I'm playing it. The reason I'm playing this game is because this game took up a lot of my life, and by a lot of my life, I mean there was a point in my life where all I did was play this game. Now, I was a lot younger back then when I played this game, but I used to play Counter-Strike a lot. And I remember before I ever played this game, I was like, I always thought this game was stupid. I never really played it, never really looked into it much. This was kind of like way before YouTube was even a thing. So it's not like you could even go online and figure out what this game's even about or how to play it or how to do stuff. You had to go on different wiki websites and look up the stuff that you needed to learn from there. There really was no easy way to play this game. And the way I actually found this game was through a friend of mine. We were playing. Dang, look at that guy. He's so powerful. He just like killed that guy without even looking at it. That's crazy. So we were playing Counter-Strike one day, and we were talking about this game, and I was making fun of it because he's like, dude, this game is awesome. I'm like, oh my god, that game is such a stupid game. It's for nerds. And I was making fun of him, and he's like, dude, have you ever played it? I'm like, no, I've never played that. That's such a stupid game. Why would I ever play that? After a while of going back and forth, he's like, dude, all right, fine. I think it was back then, it was either a week free trial or a 2-week free trial, something like that. There was a certain amount of time that you could play. I mean, currently the trial is you could play for free up to level 20. But back then it was something weird, like you get 2 weeks free or something like that. So basically he convinced me to sign up for the game. And I was like, all right, whatever. I don't have to pay for anything. It's a free game at this point. If I don't like it, then I really don't have to worry about anything. So I was like, all right, fine. That works for me. So I downloaded it. I installed it. And I chose an undead mage, which is what I am right now, as you can see by me casting spells and doing crazy stuff like that. And I remember this area here. I don't know why, but I just remember this crypt down here. Something about this crypt just really was basically my first memory in this game, is coming down there. It sounds so stupid. I don't know. It's just, that's what I remember. I created this character, and like I said, I was very, very skeptical of the entire game. I didn't know much about it other than it's supposed to be, back then everyone referred to it as like a nerd's game. And I was like, I'm not a nerd. You can't call me that. I started playing it, and literally, I think it was the same day, I ended up running out to the store and buying the entire game. At the time, it was Burning Crusade, because the cap was level 70. And I played that game for a long time. After a while, I ended up buying an account off of a friend of mine. He was like, you know what, I'll sell it to you. So I bought it, and I had a level 70, and it was a hunter. Which, if you guys don't know anything about World of Warcraft, hunters are basically the joke of the game. At least back in the day they were. They just were basically something that anybody could play. If you couldn't play a hunter, then you shouldn't be playing the game. They were really, really easy to play, and you'll often hear them called huntards and stuff just because everyone always made fun of the poor little hunters. So from that point on, I was addicted. I played this game 24/7. I was learning so much about it. It was such a crazy game. For the longest time, I never understood what was actually so addicting about it. And I got a good friend of mine to play it with me as well. And I'm sure if he ever saw this video, he'd probably be sitting there like, man, I miss that game so much. We would go play this game forever. We would do dungeons and we would quest and then we would do raids and stuff. And it's just, there's so much history with this game. It just, I don't know, like I said, we spent hours just talking about it, sitting around being like, dude, what is so addicting about this game? What is so special about it? And honestly, I couldn't figure it out. And I still don't know what the heck is so special about it, other than the fact that it's just a really fun game. I think part of it is you get to play a role. So instead of just playing a game and just being some random person, like in Minecraft where you just kind of run around and just do whatever you want, this game is very geared towards progression. So the entire game, you're constantly getting new gear, you're getting different weapons, different sets of armor, so your character's look is constantly changing, you're doing different dungeons, and just like all kinds of crazy fun stuff. And I think that's probably the coolest part about it, is playing a dungeon, watching the boss die, and then seeing some crazy, awesome gear drop, and then you get like a nice blue piece of gear, because in the beginning of the game, you look at blue pieces of gear, you're like, oh my god, that is so cool. So as I'm playing this game, it's so weird because I haven't played this thing in years. And it's just one of those games that no matter what happens, I always feel like going back to it some days. And the reason I don't play it anymore is because it does take a lot of time. It's one of those games that you could basically do whatever you want in it. Once you hit the end game, yeah, you can do a lot of the end game stuff like raiding and questing and stuff like that. But you can also do other crazy stuff like going back and running low-level dungeons, which is just awesome because then you're able to just run right through the things that used to take you hours to do. And I remember some of the dungeons that we would do. You would get into groups with random people back when you actually had to... There was no looking for dungeon, looking for raid. You couldn't just click a button and have it magically TP everyone there. You actually had to go into your different worlds like Orgrimmar or any of the major cities, and you used to have to spam chat trying to find people to do dungeons with. It used to take a long time. Every now and then you'd get some really cool high-level player that would come through and would just run you through it. But for the most part, you were on your own and you had to find other players your level. And I just remember some of the dungeons would just take so unbelievably long to do. I remember being in one of them. I'm sure eventually the name will come back to me of what dungeon it actually is. But I can't even remember what the name is. But it was just such a traumatizing experience that it just took forever. And I know what dungeon it is. I haven't played this game in so long that I can't actually remember what it was. I remember it took us like 3 hours to actually get through the dungeon. And we had a couple people come and a couple people leave. And it was a complete, absolute mess. But back when I first played this, you didn't have this kind of stuff. You basically, if you didn't know what you had to do for a quest or where you had to go, you basically went on a site like Wowhead or some other site like that, and that was your way of figuring out what to do. The other thing, too, was when you were doing these initial quests, you didn't automatically get your moves like that. You actually had to come talk to these guys here and learn your moves. So you'd have to go to a priest trainer to actually learn your priest moves. You used to have to pay for them. So they wouldn't just magically show up on your bar. You had to collect money, and you had to buy all of your moves. Now, I was never really one of those people that got too much into lore on this game. I just used to like playing it. Now, I'm not saying that the lore is bad. The lore on this game is actually phenomenal. There's so much stuff that even if you played this game 10 times over, you would never know half the stuff. You wouldn't even know probably a tenth of the stuff. You'd literally have to read every single word that comes out of here. So that's basically my story. There's really not too much else to be said other than the fact that I spent many, many moons playing this game. Ding! God, I remember yelling ding every time you'd level up. I don't think it ever made a ding sound, and if it did, I've never seen it. But I just remember being in guilds and stuff and just seeing everyone yell ding, or type it in trade chat, or anything like that. It was funny. Every time you level up, you'd yell ding. So no one really does that anymore. I think everyone that plays this game has already played this game forever. Kind of like me, I don't really know how many new people actually even play this game anymore. It's so crazy because it's just the same exact game all these years later. Like, all these quests are exactly the same way as they were before. So it's weird. I don't know. It shouldn't be weird, but it's weird that it's still the same, I guess. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm not saying like, oh, this game should have changed. It's still got that same factor. I just caught myself there a second ago just kind of staring like, what? Oh, just this game, bros. All right. Well, before I get too addicted to this thing, I think I should probably go ahead and quit here. I'm level 4. I'll probably be level 5 by the time I get done with these quests here. But, yeah, guys, hopefully you like this video. Like I said, I probably will not be doing a part 2. I'm not really sure what I would even put in a part 2. It's just I wanted to play it just to kind of bring back some memories. Like I said, I don't have an active account on here just because I know that could be trouble. Like I said, it caused me problems before, mainly just because I was spending too much time on it and wasn't doing other stuff that I was supposed to be doing. So, for example, currently my YouTube channel, I wouldn't be keeping up with that. And I'm sure you guys would hate to see my channel go down like that. So I'm not going to play this anymore. But hopefully you guys enjoyed my story of the game and kind of understand now why it's so important to me. It's also why I'm working on the dungeon server, just because dungeons and stuff have been a part of my life for a long, long time. And I don't know, there's something about this whole questing and leveling up sort of thing that is just so much fun. I don't know what it is, but just something about this is so much fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this too. If you did, make sure to slap the like button. And I will see you guys later on. Thank you so much for watching.